little pause, my bad. What I was going to ask is, what do you think about guys that say that they're tops? That's just hypothetical. A guy comes over, you want to bottom that day, and he's a top, and he sees your dick, and then he wants to ride you. What do you think about those type of guys?
So basically, you're saying a top that wants to get fucked in a certain
He
situation.
claimed he was a top, talked all that good stuff about how he's gonna dick you now, and then when you came over, he wanted to sit on yours.
What do I think of those guys?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's funny, last week...
Because a lot of guys, they get disappointed and upset.
It's funny, last week, or the tag team, shout out to Q and Mark B on the tag team. My
tag team.
They had their own YouTube blog there in Philly,
check them
out. They mentioned that something very similar. They did both admit that there have been times where they have used the title of what they wanted at the time. Mm-hmm. So even though they both admit to be versatile, but at the time they want something, so they just put out what they want at that time, and then they get it back. Because when you say you're versatile, you're kind of you're open. It's like everything's open field. So
right.
So you kind of have more control. But in that particular situation, if I thought it was me and I felt like topping, but I all of a sudden want to get fucked by this guy that has a big dick. I mean, I don't really have a certain opinion about those guys because at least on some level they know what they want. It's just that it kind of leads back to my issues with the titles themselves. They're kind of stupid because I feel like the titles, the top and bottom thing, I feel like they kind of give an absolute.
Right.
Now, and I don't like absolutes. Now, like, unless you're someone who, like you say, you don't like getting penetrated, it's not happening, it's never going to happen, that's fine. So, even if you saw a guy with a nice dick, it's 90%.
But see, I like doing everything else. Right,
like I said, but let's talk about penetration. If you get like a big dick, 95% of the time, it's probably not going to happen.
You can touch my butt, I'm not going to slap your ass, your hand away and get all offensive because you want to touch my asshole, get away.
Because I don't really have an opinion of those guys because that's happened to me several times, especially when I was younger, growing up as a teenager.
I think some of us pick titles. I think some of us pick labels because of our physical makeup. I think some guys pick, they feel like they have to be a top because they're well endowed. I feel other guys feel like they have to be a top because they're large men, they're big guys, and have a manly look. And that comes back to the insecurity thing that I talked about. I think it's insecurity also. Then there's some guys, I think they take the bottom thing a little too far. Like we said before, a lot of gays associate bottoming with being a female and overly feminine. And some of the guys that are bottoms, I think, take it too far. They feel like, they gotta cool like girls and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, some people like that.
I was about to do the Puerto Rican.
Yeah, you should hear him do it.
I ain't gonna do it right now.
No, don't do that. So some people like that, the cool like girls. I do not. Like, for instance, when you saw it, when we was on Google Plus, a young man, he showed me a picture of a light-skinned ass. And I said to him, I'm sorry, I am not into women.
Oh, right, that. Yeah.
And he says, that's not a woman's ass, that's mine. Now listen, I wasn't trying to be shady. He has a pear-shaped body. You know what I mean? He has a really jiggly butt that he can
what
make
you thought, you sent you a picture of his mama or something?
I don't know. I didn't even look at the screen name. I didn't know.
You just thought.
I thought it was a woman hit on me. Because, believe it or not, YouTube, women do hit on me. So, even though I'm lying, they know I'm gay and they still say nice sexual things to me, whatever. So, I told him nicely, that's not my speed, For me, I don't really have a type of man that I like, but I like masculine things, physically, the way you act, stuff like that. Now, let's be real. Most 95% of gay men get screwed. Somebody's gonna hit it once or twice.
I think the correct thing to say is 95% of gay men get screwed or at some point in their life have gotten screwed or will get screwed.
They try it. Some try it and never do it again. Right.
Some wait till they're 40 and get screwed.
Right.
Some
is dependent on the person.
Right. And that's
whatever
that kind of goes back to those titles a little bit too. Is that some people kind of give this assumption that he's at the top that he's never got fucked a day in his life. I don't know who this person is, but he doesn't. I'm sorry, he doesn't exist. I'm not trying to offend nobody, but I've seen some of the. I've known dudes who won't even give you head and won't even have you touch their ass, and years down the line, eventually, it happened.
Yeah.
So,
because I had a guy tell me when I was 23, I was 22, 21. I was just coming out. I just came out like 19, seriously got into the gay lifestyle. And when we got along, he was like, he just gave me this rundown of what he would not do. He was like, I don't suck dick. You can't touch my ass. You can't eat my ass. You're going to suck my dick. I'm going to do this. Now, one, I was completely turned off.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, he assumed because I was 5'8" and he was 6'2" and he was older than me and I was younger that he was going to tap me. I was like, first of all, totally wrong. One, I don't want to get screwed. Two, I'm not into it. Now, I can have sex with another top. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I can have sex with a versatile guy, a bottom guy, any guy. Because just because you get screwed doesn't mean, one, you want me to do it.
Right.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I might not have the physical stipulations of what turns you on to make you do that, or I might not have the right energy. I can have good sex, and I have in the past, with guys without any penetration.
Right.
We're men. It's a lot of other things that we can do. Now, do I prefer penetration? Yes, I do. I should have the shirt built to fuck because I like to do that. But however, that's not a definite and built in stone for me. And I think that's what Trey is trying to say is like too many of us put things in stone.
Yeah.
Like top bang, not sucking dick bang. And it's really ridiculous because like I was telling Jared, my last guest, I was like, too many, and me and Trey have said this, and he said it many times, too many black men are just too vanilla in sex.
Yes.
Because that leads back to your insecurities.
Bored now.
Yeah. They come over, and, like me and Trey, we got our top 5 worst sex and top 5 best sex. Now, I ain't dropping no names.
I think some of you know who you are.
Yeah. That's terrible. But my top 5 worst, he gonna go get another drink. You see this? He's a drunk. Anyway. My top 5 worst. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean what you look like. Yes, I'm a gym boy. He's a gym boy now. I think we've reached gym boy status. I like to work out, as you can see, whatever. But I like the top 3 and the 5 were body boys.
Talking about the worst?
The worst.
Oh, yeah.
Body boys. Number 1, he literally laid there like a plank of wood and wanted me to do everything. Now, I like oral sex, and I think I'm pretty good at working the tongue, no matter what I'm doing, but I need some reciprocation.
Right.
But then, number 3, he was versatile, and he was being my bottom at the time. He was like a plank of wood, too. He just, like, totally went dead, and I was fucking with it. There was no words, and I've had sex like that recently with somebody in New York. And it was corny. Like, black men are so fucking vanilla sometimes. You look at white porn, and they whipping each other, they fingering each other, hanging from this. They make these scenes where the dude is a park ranger, the other guy got to get rescued, and he's sucking his dick. What's wrong with black men?
I'm glad you mentioned the porn thing, because like I was in my head, I was thinking, it's some... And this is kind of the broader picture of what's wrong with black gay culture, is that we really don't have a... not so much an influence, but we don't really have a set thing. So a lot of the things we do built on as far as our culture are somewhat emulated and from something else.
Yeah, because a lot of us do emulate those points.
Right. Like, so it's 3 major negative kind of influences on sex between 2 men or black gay men. One big one is porn, because the porn industry does reach toward a certain market, and certain types of porn are big at certain times. They kind of give a certain thing. So the typical thing you would see is either not even typical, but the most popular porns are a big muscular guy or a smaller guy, and the big muscular guy is like fucking the shit out of a younger guy. That's just, porn has evolved so many times now. Now it's like 2 teenagers having sex, but I'm not. Like,
it depends on the porn.
Y'all don't want to go there, but I'm saying is that certain sexual images are put into our system. So I think because we don't really have a basis of what to do with sex coming out, we kind of emulate the porn we see. And we also emulate just society we see as far as men and women. The man has to fuck the woman. The man is normally taller than the woman. The man is normally stronger than the woman. And unfortunately, I'm almost like 100% divorced from these concepts. But we do this too. So.
Well, everybody has a different taste.
Right.
You know, some guys, you know, for whatever reason, subconsciously, or that's just what they like. Some people honestly do like that. You know, some guys like twinks.
Right. I don't think there's anything wrong with
some guys like, you know, bears.
Right. There's nothing wrong with what you like or
gym.
your preferences, but the only thing about this, and this is again the issue I have with the titles, is that you go into a sexual situation assuming that it's going to go a certain way because that's what you have in your head and that's how it should be.
Well, isn't it funny? Like, all right, like white gay culture, they seem to have top bottom versatile like we do. You know what I mean? But they also have subtitles like bear, jock, you know, twink, stuff like that. Black men really don't really get into those subcultures. You know what I mean? Because, like, you look at white porn and you be like, hung twinks, daddy bears, and stuff like that. Now, when I first heard that stuff, it sounded a little ridiculous to me. But then when I got further into my sexuality and exploring other ways of having sex, it kind of was, you know, a little different for me. But it kind of was fun. You know what I mean? Because, you know, there are subcategories. Like, all right, now, what I was going to go into is, like, you know, like, it's labels to me, and then we have lanes, you know. It's like, all right, when you live in Philadelphia, and, you know, y'all probably going to get mad at me, but this is the real talk. Philly, y'all don't have any lanes. You go to New York, LA, and probably Chicago because I've never been there. But it seems like when I talk to guys, they have lanes too.
It's the same.
Philly is a city that does not have lanes. What I mean by lanes is, let's forget about the top, bottom, versatile, whatever.
Right.
Lanes means the subcategories. He's a gym boy, I'm a gym boy. So in Philly, and this might sound arrogant, but it's the truth. I'm a gym boy, and it is expected of me to like another gym boy. Now, that is half right. I do prefer men that are muscular.
Right.
They could be, doesn't mean how much more muscular or less muscular than me, but I do like men with athletic builds, from athletic to really big muscular guys.
Right.
Now, in New York, when I'm in New York and my profile's on A4A or Jag and it's updated, 90% of the guys that hit me up are other gym boys, or other guys that are athletic, or other guys that have that very hard, manly look. When I'm in Philly, it's like a potpourri. You know, I get hit up by chubby dudes, skinny boys, young boys, old heads, stuff, like they just come at me. Now, a lot of people say, well, you know, everybody's worth talking to and stuff like that. But, you know,
I don't know about that, but go on.
Yeah, but it's like, to me, it's like, let's be realistic. You have to be realistic in the world. Men are visual creatures. You see straight men, when they walking down the street with their girlfriend, their head go like this when they see another woman. You know why? Because they're visual creatures. I am very much a visual creature. I like to have sex with the lights on. I like to see what you look like. I want to see pictures to what I'm getting into. Right. You know what I mean? I want to see your face, stuff like that. You know, face ain't really important to me. I'd rather have body, because I will have sex and probably and can date, and I've done it, a dude that is not good looking in the face but got a nice body.
I concur.
You know what I mean? Because looks ain't everything, and everything fades. Everything fades. So it's not important to me. So, you know, when I say lanes, it's like, I'll have dudes in New York, they'll be very heavy set. And they be like, oh, you have beautiful pictures and stuff like that. They'll say that and keep it moving. You know what I mean? Because they think, well, most likely I'm not his type because of what I say in my profile. Right. Philly, y'all don't read nothing. Y'all just come at motherfuckers. He had a dude. Tell him about the little...
Which one?
Slim dude. Oh, I'm tatted, I'm young.
Oh, yeah. This dude hit me up and was like, oh, blah. You know, I mean, if you, I'm not gonna say if. Y'all know the spiel. Hey, what's up? Hey, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you're cute. Thanks. Oh, you should get my number. We should do it. I'm sorry, but you're not really my type. Oh, well, no, that's not what happened. Oh, well, do you have a picture? No, I have a picture, but you're gonna like me. Why? I mean, what makes you say that? Cause I'm cute and I'm tatted. Oh, well, no, it doesn't help. So, I mean, I don't know what gave off that was going to really just reel me on that.
And then I have
nothing like getting screwed by.
Then I have motherfuckers. They have average. They're basic dudes. They have average body. They're average looking, and they want me to sweat them They asked me, well, why did I call them in a while? I said, the phone worked 2 different ways, you know what I mean? Or before we even have sex, they want me to keep talking to them and play this game whenever they ready. Like, don't treat me like that.
You said like this a Philly thing?
Yeah, that's like a Philly. I mean, New York has its things too, because New York, in that city, they climbing a ladder. They talking to 4 different hot guys, and they trying to see which the hottest.
It's a very long reason why Philly is like that, but the short version of it is the reason that Philly hasn't established lanes is because Philly is, and I'm sorry to say, Philly is my hometown. I grew up in Philly my whole life. I've been here since I was 25. I recently moved to San Francisco, like he said before. So, and this is not in any way try to dismiss Philly, because that is my hometown. I rep it even in San Francisco.
Yep.
However, the reason Philly is a very, for lack of a better word, a very ratchet ghetto city. So,
very basic.
With that culture, that ratchet ghetto subculture is very deeply embedded in Philly, and you can even look at it as the dude's always in jail, dude's selling drugs, dude's always baby mama. That's just Philly. Philly is. Other cities have it, but it's kind of like a divorce from it.
Yeah, that's what
Philly has embraced it and engulfed it.
I'm tired of Philly boys on their profiles saying, you know, I want this and a guy want this and that, but you bring very little to the table. You know what I mean? Okay, like I tell him and he makes fun of my little thing. You don't bring no chips to the table.
You ain't got no chips.
You ain't got no chips. It's like this. These are the chips: body, face, dick, personality, masculinity, you know, job, house, own place, can't take care of drug addict, not a drug addict.
You got all 7 on you.
You know what I mean? Like, well, it's no one is the supreme. I mean, come on, let's be real. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. And some of us are going through financial times. That's not because of who we are.
That's just life.
That's just life. You know what I mean? I'm renting this house from you. You know what I mean? But I got my own place. You know, I'm just renting it. You know what I mean? But
I'm paying half around here and half in San Francisco, so I ain't rich. So it ain't even about like being rich.
You know, some guys, they offer nothing. Like, I have a lot of, I'm not gonna lie, I have a lot of young men that approach me online, and my profile says 24 or older. Now, I have my moments where I do bend that rule and talk to a 23-year-old, maybe a 22. I really don't go too young because, you know, we don't have a lot in common.
Right.
You know what I mean? We can fuck, but we don't have a lot in common. But then, you know, when I'm around, I don't treat everybody like just a smut. I talk to them a little bit, you know, because, you know, they are still human beings, and I like company. So
yeah, I mean, it's called having manners.
Right, manners. So, you know, I talk to some young boys, and they say to me, oh, you know, I want to date you, I want to be with you. And then they get upset because I say, you're not bringing much to the table. Mm-hmm. It's like, one, you're 22. If nobody knew, now you know, I'm 35 years old. Okay, so my mentality is different. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear.
It should be.
Right, it should be. I'm not going, like, this younger, like, Trey is the exception. He's 10 years younger than me. He's like my brother. I can relate to him. But there's still things about Trey. Like, Trey loves Beyonce. He's a big Beyonce fan.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
I am a Beyonce fan, but it's not. I'm not stupid with it.
Right.
I'm not,
he's not crazy.
I'm not buying $1,000
He likes Beyonce.
I'm not.
He don't do all that.
It's not all until my.
He likes Drake. That's his boyfriend. He got pictures of him. Drake and some of the new music. When he turns his music on in my car when I was driving, I'd be like, who the fuck is that? I don't care. They all sound alike. You call me an old man. I grew up in the 90s. TLC, Big, Pac, those type of things. I still rock Biggie in my car. And I don't care. You know what I mean? Now I like some new songs. He put me down. Like, I like that Brandy.
Like Partition?
No, I don't like Partition. I am not a Beyonce fan, so the bureaucracy want to come get me, come get me.
Back on the track, like the younger and older thing.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, you know, they want a lot. Then I have fellas my age, or, you know, in their late 20s and early 30s, that want to be my boyfriend too. Some of them are living with family, which is not always a problem, because this is hard economic times. So living with your mother or your family, it's fine if you are contributing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, if you're living off your mother and then you want to come over my house and eat at my food, you're not doing that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I need somebody.
No, you're not doing that.
Right, you have to be on my level. You know, one, I need somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? If you want to date me. If we're not in the same maturity level or we're not in the same mindset, I can't deal with you. As I said before, I'm a nerd and I'm a gym boy. That is a very hard combination to come across, because we do either one or the other. A lot of nerdy guys that like me, They skinny, not into the gym, but they cute and all. They have their awkward. I'm used to that. That's cool. Then you got the gym boys. They buff, man, really masculine. Boring. But some of them are boring as stumps and dumb as bricks. So it's like you can't win. So,
No, I mean, like I said, that's what a very Philly thing is, because Philly has really engulfed and embraced the ratchetness and the basicness of life.
Let's not even get on the black girls in the city.
We're not going to talk about them. But Philly really has just taken on their culture, so it doesn't leave much room for us to create lanes, because lanes are established for people who have different experiences, different walks of life, so they venture off of different things. Philly is not like that because Philly does not support that, which is it's a couple reasons why I left Philly, but a big reason is because there is no lanes, and with it not being lanes or not being any different types of people or even different types of black gay people,
everybody's uniform.
It doesn't leave much appreciation for who you are. Like, for example, me and my best friend Robert, who I live in San Francisco, we were just talking about, in Philly, we have spent lots and lots of money, time, and effort in this house, his house. We spent the last 2 or 3 years hosting events after events after events, spending money on parties, and we can count only 1 or 2 people, if that actually invited us to something.
Right.
But it has been hundreds of people. I probably don't. And these same people have not spoken to us, have walked by us in the street, act like they don't know us. But they will come. Philly was the kind of city where there's really no etiquette. They will come to your house, drink your liquor, talk with your friends a little bit, and then go right to the club and just leave everything in the mess. And it has happened. So that lack of appreciation is a big part of why there's no link, because everybody in Philly is just there, and they just want to just do whatever to get through the day. So, and when you work out, that's another thing. It's like Philly's the only city where it's like, oh, wow, you have a nice body, you really work out. Maybe I should start doing that. No, what do you get from Philly? Oh my God, I can't spend that much time in the gym. Oh God, what do you drink? What did one boy say to me one time? Oh, I want to drink. I'm thinking about getting a drink. What would you order? A protein shake? It's like 10 o'clock at night in a cocktail hour. Why the fuck would I drink a protein shake at the bar, you stupid bitch? Like, that's the kind of bullshit you get in Philly. You have a really nice body and I think you look great.
I've had motherfuckers look at me and tell me why you want to be that way.
How big do you want to be? How do you spend much time in the gym? That's the kind of shit you hear in Philly. You can't just get a fucking compliment without and I get numerous compliments to everybody. You can't just get a compliment and call it a day. But in other cities, particularly in San Francisco, I had people just off the street. Hi, you have a really nice body.
And they buy them a drink.
And buy you a drink.
Listen, black men, why don't you buy people drinks? Now, I don't drink. But if I walk up to a man in a bar, and I'm in a bar, like say with Trey, we not separated from each other because we don't do the girly thing, following each other to the bathroom and powder and all that bullshit.
Right.
If I walk over to a good looking brother and I want to talk to him and he's sitting at the bar and he has a drink in his hand and it's half full, I'll be like, let me buy you another drink. What's so hard about that? If y'all don't like each other, fine, move on. $6-7, that's really breaking your pockets? Oh, that's right, because you want to buy weed or some other bullshit. That don't make no sense. First of all, you can't buy a motherfucker a drink. That's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I don't give a fuck if you top, bottom, whatever. But, hey, here we go. Let's go back to what I said. Most of y'all don't even come up to the dude. But you get on, check, and say, oh, I thought you were hot.
Or my favorite is the ones you at the bar by yourself, they're all in your face, and they want to go on and on for the rest of the night, and they see you just drinking and drinking. I mean, I like I said, I don't emulate too many heterosexual things, but I do believe in certain...
That has nothing to do with certain heterosexual. That's just people.
Right, I do believe in certain bar etiquette. Bar etiquette, and you can do whatever you want. Bar etiquette, and if you ever see me and you talking to me and I give you a funny look, you'll know what I'm talking about. Bar etiquette is if you attract to somebody at the bar and they ordering drinks and they drink, you ask them, can I buy you a drink? The end. Now, what dudes in Philly do is, unfortunately, black dudes in Philly, because unfortunately, I hate to say, white men in Philly will buy you drinks and they will leave you alone. If the black dude does buy you a drink and spend that $6, he owns you. Like follow.
And that's true.
He won't follow you
because I've heard my female associates and friends say the same thing. A guy will buy them drink and will knock it out their face.
He will follow you. He will.
It's $6.
He won't buy another drink though. Catch that.
All right, but, black people. It's 2014. If you don't know how the economy works, let me tell you. For those who don't work for a living and just wait for a check, or those who are just out of their mind when it comes to money. $20 today in 2014 is like $5. It is. So if I'm giving you anything less than a 20, that's pocket change.
Yeah.
Today I carry at least one $20 bill in my pocket, so I ain't got to go to a Mac machine and spend $2 to get some more money.
Right.
It's nothing. So if you can't walk up to someone and just say, oh, just for their time, just to talk to them, a drink. If you want to sit there for 10 minutes and 20 minutes and want to talk to them, then buy the nigga at least 2 drinks. You know what I mean? Buy him something. You know what I mean? $6, $7 on a drink is not kidding. He's not asked you to buy a whole bottle of Marlowe. How you say it? Marlowe. Yeah, because I ain't no drink. Marlowe or some expensive ass wine or something. A whole bottle of Patron. It's called Patron. Look it up. It's not Patron. It's Patron. That's the little thing. Yeah, Patron. But anyway, like I said, it's $6, $7. Like, let's go. Like.
That's just one of the big things of etiquette and that Philly does lack. Philly lacks a lot of etiquettes and lanes, like you said. So what are the lanes that are in other cities that you do notice as far as besides the gym boy?
Well, we got the twinks, we got the nerdy boys, we got the chubby chasers, we got the bears and stuff like that. Now, depending on your pictures, you can fall into many different lanes when you go into other cities or whatever. However, I just think, like he said, the labels don't need to be etched in stone. You know what I mean? And I think black men, the reason why we have a problem with these labels, because a lot of black men, period, are very vanilla.
And
they don't know how to express themselves or be themselves in the real world. And then when they get behind closed doors with one person, they're still wearing a defensive mask. And
let me just establish, like, the lanes is what I'm talking about as far as the personality. And that's one good thing that I will give the white gay culture credit on, is that they really, one thing we do a lot that they don't do is that they do not tie sexual roles into social. That's why they have created those lanes. And because there's so many different types of them.
Because that is a good point. Just because everybody knows you're a bottom, why do they have to treat you like some fucking slut?
Right. I mean, close friends and like coaches like Kiki or Jack will talk about it, but it's not like, look at that bottom over there, or
she's a dirty bottom.
Child, I heard.
Why they gotta call you she because you bottom?
Right.
You know how many dudes? Listen, real talk. I met a guy that loves the bottom. He's very masculine. He's buffer than me. He hurt my back when we was having sex, and he was my bottom, okay? He was hung to his knees, very much a man, did manly things, but he was a bottom. Why would somebody would go out of their way to call him a she just because they know he bottom? That's fucking ridiculous.
Or somebody would see his pictures and be like, oh, she, or they look at her, she's a whole bottom.
Right, like why are we doing that to each other? That's just stupid and ridiculous. It really is. You're persecuting and socially alienating people because of their sexual roles in bed.
That you assume. That's the other thing, is that they'll see somebody who's a little bit who, I don't like the word feminine, that quote unquote feminine either. So I will say a little flamboyant, and you'll assume that she's a bottom. Or like, so if someone be like, oh, if you'll talk to her, they be like, oh, I'm a top. She a top? Ooh, really? She a top? I can't see her top of me. Well, maybe you don't want him to fuck you, but I mean,
some guys that like them boys fucking them.
That's one thing. We kind of assume that's one thing we do a lot, is assume the sexual roles by looking at you, and the two things are not the same. They shouldn't be the same, because one really doesn't have one to do with the other. People just kind of bring that sexual proclivities into the real world, and that's not cool.
Yeah, because when I look at most men, I hope you get screwed. You know what I mean? Right. I want you to be the one that gets screwed. Do I put that on you right away? No, I don't. You know what I mean? I have to ask you what you into, but that's what I want for most of the men that I talk to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I think that the label thing can get a little ridiculous.
It has gotten ridiculous, and it's only gotten ridiculous in our culture in particular. It it's just not. That's why I have a problem with the labels. They're just not used the way they were supposed to meant to use. They're supposed to be used between two people. Be like, what are we going to do in bed? I want to do this. Well, I want to do this. So I'm gonna sum it up. I'm gonna top, sum up the bottom, and we meet in the middle. That's what the purpose of the roles. It's not meant to be a kiki cackle with your girlfriends or the girl you don't like and just saying you heard she gets fucked. That's none of your fucking business,
right?
But like, I mean, or child, I heard she was at that party. She was getting plowed. That's none of your fucking business. It has. Why are you using that as a weapon? Because you really had nothing else to bring somebody down.
Exactly. Well. Now, I'll let him have the last word on that subject. And, I don't want to rant too much on one subject. I'm still an amateur at this. I'm trying to get better.
You're doing all right.
We would have shifted into something else, not always negative. So, Trey and me just recently found out online, because I'm a
little late because I've been doing this move thing.
Yeah.
So this has been new since February, and I didn't know. So
somebody told me in New York a few weeks ago when I was there that FIBO, Fire Island Blackout, is an event where black gay men go to Fire Island in New York State and have like a pride at the end of the summer. I've been several times throughout the years because it was running for 10 years? 11 years. And it was running for 11 years. And it was great. It's on a beach. Fire Island, if y'all don't know, is predominantly white. So it's like weird for a bunch of black people to go there at one time. Unfortunately,
so according to Philadelphia News, Philly Gay News, Fire Island Blackout was canceled. This was back in February 4th. I didn't know that. And my first, when I went with him,
he went to the first Fire Island.
That was my first one back in last year in 2013, and I had a great time. I mean, I was trashed at the end, but
he was white girl wasted. Not to be racist, but y'all get it in.
I think that was my.
Yeah, he couldn't find the beach. That's how drunk he was on the boardwalk.
In my defense, I was drinking from 8 a.m. to like the end of the party. So I wasn't ready because I'm thinking I'm not a beach person. I'm thinking we gonna go to the beach. It's just gonna be sand. Let me bring some liquor.
What happened was that I've been there years before. One of my exes had introduced me to the event. It's a very nice event. It is usually the crowd 25 and older. It is far out, so you don't have the ghetto kids that can't make it or don't want to go. Right. So it's an adult crowd.
Right.
I've been there 5 years, sometimes in a row.
They have really nice private parties on the beach.
Private parties on the beach.
Really nice
Some people have private parties at houses.
That one party
there.
that house
we went to. It was real nice. Sean, shout out to you if you're watching my video in New York. He's my photographer too. So anyway, but
liquor and there's lots of alcohol, and I didn't know that because I used to beach party just buy alcohol. When you buy,
you drunk, you have
no, but the point is, I was trying to say, make it sound good, is that you buy a bracelet and this extra open party, you get as much drinks as you want.
Right.
So that's it's a great event.
Right. It was canceled because they sell these bracelets which let you into parties and also get you free liquor at some of the parties. Mm-hmm. And they were like, what? They were like $40, $50?
Depending on,
it's different levels. Like, if you get the low level, it's like $40.
The
VIP is like $125. But then you get a bag and you get bus service from the hotel to this and that.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is that
the reason it was canceled.
The reason it was canceled is because we did not support it. I bought a bracelet, he bought a bracelet, everybody that was with us, we bought a bracelet.
And it's not because it wasn't supported because people weren't going. It wasn't supported because people were going and just sitting there on the beach and not supporting the event. So people were just the point like they said in the article, people just weren't buying the bracelet.
And this is an all-day event. And sometimes it's a day before too, because on a host hotel not too far from the beach, because you have to take a ferry over to Fire Island.